Hey, what's up guys, Mashine here, come back with a brand new video. If you guys, Valve just released the biggest update of 2023, meaning that's the only update we've gotten of 2023. We're going to be breaking down what happened and why it's actually probably a good thing for most CSGO investors. We're going to be talking about that after a quick word from our sponsor, SkinsMonkey. The sponsor for today's video is SkinsMonkey. Now, SkinsMonkey is the quickest, easiest, and most importantly, safest way to go ahead and trade your CSGO skins. Now, SkinsMonkey is super easy to use. You just have to take your item, take the item you want, and just go ahead, apply code MasterShiny to get your free $5 if it's your first trade, and just click trade. And if you've got no money to spend right now, they've got two ways for you to get some. First is just heading over and topping up. Make sure to use code MasterShiny for a free 5% there, and they've also got the freebies section where you can go ahead and enter free raffles that happen every single day. And as always, thank you so much, SkinsMonkey. Make sure you use in the top link in the description to claim your free $5 today. Now let's talk about the update itself. It really didn't consist of much other than a very interesting last line on Ember, and knowing me, I decided to hop into a Danger Zone game to see how Ember had changed, and it only took me about 10 seconds to realize why I make videos about the financial aspect of CSGO, because I had literally never played this map before in my life. I played multiple Danger Zone matches because I couldn't do it with bots apparently. I've never played enough Danger Zone to do it with bots. I don't know, pretty interesting situation that ended up with really no payoff. But let's talk about what is the most obvious, and that's the unfortunate part of this update. The unfortunate part is, due to popular belief, there is going to be some sort of operation. This pretty much confirms that we're not going to be receiving an operation. Almost guaranteed what we're going to see is there's not going to be an operation for at least a couple months. I've mentioned this multiple times. Biggest one is the map rotation. The map rotations are just not in line for an operation to be coming in the next month or two. Obviously, we've got Rio still in store. We're going to be talking about that at the end of the video. But in my opinion, it seems like it's pretty locked in at this point that an operation, or even potentially a case is somewhat potentially there, but an operation definitely not, in my opinion. But now talking about the part that's actually interesting, why was this update so beneficial for so many people? And the most obvious answer, first off the bat, is going to be the cases. Let's talk about cases for just a quick minute. Cases this past month have been on the rise. I've got 3 different charts I want to show you. All of them are different eras of cases, as you could refer to them. The first one here is the newest cases. Now this graph is completely cumulative, meaning that it's all of the price of the cases that were released during that time added together. No averages, nothing like that. As you can see, this has grown about 25% in the past month. All of these are going to be month graphs, going from around $4 to roughly around $5. Ignore that dip at the end there. It kind of gets a little messed up. You can see it here with the next graph, which is 2016 to 2019. We're going from around $20 to now $22. Only a 10% increase, but still a pretty decent increase for a month. You got to take into consideration that most of these should be at bare maximum growing at like 2% a month. If we want to compare it to any other investment, 2% a month, it's going to be a little bit off, but that's almost 25% a year. It's actually going to be a little bit more because of cumulative investments, but anything like that, it's almost 25 to 30% a year at a 2% a month. We're looking at 10% this month, and that's the worst of the 3. Finally, moving on to the last, which is the cases that are pre-2016, dipped down to all the way to around $135, and now we're at $155 in just the span of a couple weeks. So what does this really mean? Well, this is very important because this means that people are putting a significant amount of money into investing into assets that are already heavy investments, mainly being cases in this situation. I've got a couple cases I want to go over. First off, obviously the breakout case. Breakout case is up significantly, and the breakout case is one that a lot of people commonly go to for an investment purpose, just because at this point it's the most well-known case in the game, at least one of them, and it's definitely very desirable. It's always going to be desirable because you're guaranteed that butterfly knife. And I've also got a couple other ones I'm going to be flashing in the background, but basically the reason that this is so important is people are sticking their money into cases and other things, potentially even major investments, instead of an actual new operation. See, when an operation comes around, you can see with the clutch case and the breakout case now in the background, prices drop significantly of these cases, and sometimes they take a decent amount of time to recover. That's because people are selling off these investments patient in buying up new things that come along with an operation. Because we have not seen an operation in the expected timeline, this means that people still have this money that they got ready for a situation where an operation could have potentially came around. And when we have videos that are advertising operations so frequently, it's kind of not hard to see why people might have this money on hand. And basically what's been happening is all of this excess money has just been sitting there, and there comes a point where people don't want to have their excess money just sitting in their Steam wallet when they see the actual market going up a decent amount around them. Therefore, they're going to be taking that money, sticking it into cases, something like the Phoenix case here. You can see just how crazy the Phoenix case has gone up in price in the last month. A case that does have a decent unboxing demand, but overall is usually not one of the first and most popular cases you think of unless you're thinking about those older cases. And speaking of case unboxing demand and CSGO player counts as a whole, case unboxing demand has been pretty consistent. If we want to look at the entirety of 2022, you can see here that it really did not change too much. We're always sitting around that 20 to 25 million in the amount unboxed, which is nothing crazy. And you can see the past 2 months of December and November, nothing crazy happened there. And yet prices, at least for the month of January, which we don't have the data for yet, but I assume it's probably going to be pretty similar, had the prices of cases keep on going up. Talking about player counts, a ton of people are coming into the game now when we just got the longest wait time ever for a CSGO update for it to be nothing special. What we're seeing is a ton of people coming into the game, most likely, in my opinion, a decent amount due to the financial aspect, which is, I feel like the majority of people, they come into the game for the financial aspect, but they end up staying because they enjoy the game. It's not something that everyone does, and maybe I'm a little bit biased because that was my entrance to the game, but I think it's definitely something that is much more common than people realize. Now, talking about the potential of future updates. Future updates are very important to the game, but at this time, especially in the next month, I don't really want to see any major updates in my opinion. And I think that's kind of what we've outlined in this video, that having no updates in certain time periods like this within reason are, or at least can be, beneficial for the game. Now, obviously, if we're talking about a significant length of time, talking about like the TF2 thing, which some people actually believe might have played an impact into why CSGO has not received an update in very long. Interesting thought process. I can understand it, necessarily don't agree with it because Valve is a big enough company, but basically, when we have time periods like this, it's not necessarily a bad thing for the game as long as it happens within a reason. And I think that's what a lot of people don't really look at, is the significant growth that is happening. And unless you're very invested into CSGO skins and finding out everything about CSGO investing, this is probably not one of the main reasons you're going to think of when you're talking about CSGO cases specifically being on the rise. We're not talking about how there's a significant amount of cases being opened, and to the point that the But overall, talking about an update, in my opinion, the next update we're probably going to be getting is that Rio removal update in maybe a month-ish time. I mean, Rio's been in the store for a while, but they've got no reason to take it out now, in my opinion. I guess they could take it out earlier, it just doesn't really make a ton of sense. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.